This is FC2. It's a series of videos where we rebuild F1 tracks in Minecraft, cover them in ice, and then get boat racing enthusiasts to throw themselves at the turns and see who comes out on top.
Since we follow the F1 calendar, this week's race is in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. It's the shortest track on the calendar, and it only has 10 turns. It's also a sprint race weekend, and so FC2 will do the same in its own way. So let's get into qualifying. We're starting a little bit different today at Red Bull Ring, and that is because we're doing a sprint race. And what a sprint race normally means for FC1 and FC2 is that we're starting with a one-lap qualifying. So all these drivers are going to be right on the edge, right here, and they're going to do one lap of qualifying, and that will place them right where their spot is for the sprint race. Alongside me today is a friendly face of Lapis Lettuce, who's been on here before, so
hello.
And as we've seen with FC1 today, that Red Bull Ring is quite an interesting track. It's quite a, I would say it's easy to drive, but overtaking is a different beast, and we learned that it is really hard to overtake on this track, and pretty risky to do so. So these qualifying laps and these sprint races are going to be really important for these drivers to get good spots on the starting grid.
Absolutely. Actually, Red Bull Ring is the shortest track we have on the FC calendar this year. And so on top of having, the track be really easy, you're also flooded with backmarkers constantly.
I went into the freaking grass.
So we can see these racers coming through. It's going to be very crucial that they get good times so that they can start high up in the sprint race. We come through, we see actually just Esperance barely ekes out Crucero there. Interesting.
Yeah, and to go over the little roster for qualifying one, we got 9 people on right now. No blue name's just Esperance, who's been here plenty of times. We've seen him race well multiple times, but a new face to FC2, though not to the boat racing community, is the man named Crucero. And Crucero is an Asian driver, so they live in Asia, and so it's a little bit hard for them to make it to these events. But for FC2, he has shown up, and he's quite a dominant driver, and he could do really well as long as he gets an overtake, gets the overtakes correct, and doesn't mess up too badly on this track. Crucero could be dominant in this race.
So let's start this Heat 2 of qualifying in Red Bull Ring.
Newer names for qualifying 2. Faces like Greg Master Flash, Mr. Foxy, Block Backs are all new names I don't recognize. And the rest of them, I think I've seen them drive once or twice.
That's probably the blackest hair I've ever seen.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do and stack up against these other drivers here on Red Bull Ring.
I think it is. I think it's 0-0.
If you want to be a part of this and you think that races like this are an enjoyable part of boat racing, then you can totally join these races. Remember, they're completely open, and all you got to do is show up to our server, frostex.com, and wait, hold on. What you doing? What is Black Ninja doing?
What?
All right.
I mean, his lap still hasn't started, so he's like,
what is Blood doing?
He wants to start in the back, I think. Oh gosh, he doesn't know what's going on. Anyway, that's how FC2 goes. But yeah, we're gonna follow Cordy404, who showed up last race, and we'll see what he can do in this one-shot lap. So I think one of the hardest parts about the one-shot quali is turns 1 and 2, and they're crucial. It looks like, Cordy goes so much wide on that. Oh, and Black Ninja as well goes super wide. And yeah, they're gonna have to have a lot of time to make up for this, and yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tough for them. Especially
oh my gosh, we just had blockbacks just straight on go, didn't even turn it off.
Oh jeez.
Oh my goodness.
He did not turn at all.
Oh my goodness, he went straight into the iceberg.
Well, let's. I guess we're turning our attention towards Block, and not to make fun of the guy, but oh dear, yeah, I think this is his first time on the track. He doesn't seem to know which directions he's turning, and oh jeez, a lot of these guys in the back don't really know what's going on, and that's okay.
It's wonderful to see these newer drivers out here racing. Everybody has to start somewhere, and FC2 is a great place to do that because as we are open to all. You don't have to worry about qualifying. You don't have to worry about actually, making it in or not. We'll accept as many people. Whoa! Almost just got ran over as possible. So I can't wait to see. Maybe hopefully they'll improve over the course of the race.
Yeah, for now they're a little bit struggling. But it's okay. It's just qualifying.
Absolutely,
There's
we were
two more
definitely
events to
all
go.
here once. You want to know what this is going to be? This is going to make for a really interesting race, though. Having these back markers everywhere, all over the track.
Sure.
I think they're definitely in such a short track. This is going to throw a huge. This is going to be really interesting to watch, to see how they shake up this race.
Yeah, Cristero's gonna have some people to get through and could open the gate up for the drivers behind him. All right, well there you go. There's qualifying 2. No big moves from anyone in this qualifying 2. Definitely not taking up the top spots at all.
I almost got ran over again, bro. Holy moly!
Careful, bud. So yeah, that's qualifying. We'll take you to the sprint race in just a sec.
Hello.
Here's our grid for the sprint race. Remember, this is only 6 laps, and so this will determine the final grid spot for the final race. So on top of qualifying is Just Esper, Crucero, Antonio Yes, Ludofax, Orin, Captain Crafties,
You go to
Umbamba 68,
the
Chrome
thingy
Cat,
and
Fervent Cilia, Legit Hot Dog, Walta, Semicolon, Cordy 404, Black Ninja CFC, Greg Master Flash, Block Backs, and Mr. Foxy in the back. So there's your spots, 17 on the grid, and we're ready to start this race going. Bud, what's going on?
Possibly do a.
how many people are here?
Give me a sec, please.
Not.
What is it? Can you tell me at least?
Crafties, go.
Come on,
What is going on? What?
tell us, or we're gonna start. Crafties.
You got it. All right, all set. All right.
Oh my gosh, my man.
Crafty's being our showstopper here.
And looks like we're gonna be starting. Let's see what Crafty's. Oh. Okay. Let's see if Crafty's moves. He does, and so we're gonna take it off into turn 1 for the sprint race. Super important here to get onto the good grid spot. Just Esperance making a clean turn 1. Crucero as well. Antonio Yes right behind. The drivers behind are all scuffed together, trying to fight for some space here. Holy cow.
Let's see if there's a huge turn 2 pileup.
Yeah, and
that's
that's
the FC1 race. Oh, somebody got bumped. 2
Crafties
people
is
got
getting
bumped.
slowed down.
Oh my goodness.
Oh geez, all these drivers getting stopped on turn 2. Some people have to go up a different way into the turn. Mr. Foxy is going all the wrong ways. Oh, and he decides to cut the corner instead. Looks like he's gonna start in the back.
Obama blocking 2 people on the same straight, blasting them out in all different directions. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go up and see. We've got a battle for 4th place. Crumcat and Antonio, yes. I believe. Yeah. Oh,
Right up
and
here.
it looks like Antonio got blocked. Sending Ludofax, sends it down the inside, goes slightly wide.
Actually,
Actually
give Crafties an overtake.
Oh yeah, clean overtake right there. But they're still in a tandem with each other. But we got 2 people in tandem for 15th
Blockbacks and
place.
Cordy.
They're all crashing everywhere. It's still coming out in tandem.
Yeah, and Mr. Foxy is already 34 seconds behind the rest of the grid.
Looks
there
like
we go.
Blockbacks took a little bite. A big bite of the apex of that corner. Now they're behind. Up ahead, though, we have some action on these corners. Oh, Walter messing up.
Walter messing up
Greg
big
Master
time.
Flash going through.
That was 2 positions lost for him.
Oh, it's gonna be more if he gets bumped.
Oh, and there goes bump of Obamba.
Baba. Look at how long this train is in the sprint race. There is a bunch of drivers right here, straight up.
Yeah,
from
the front of that
Legit
is
Dog
Legit
back.
Hot Dog.
I think
Walter's
I
going to get
pronounced that
past Cordy of
correctly.
404, and he's going to go for Obamba, going in tandem into turn 2. This could be dangerous. Walter's getting a little squirmy on the straight and losing that position.
You never
here they
want
go.
to be in tandem.
They both make it through cleanly, all of them passing Greg Master Flash, who lost lots of positions messing up that turn 2. But looking at the top of the grid, Just Esperance is calmly in front, and Crucero is right behind. And a little bit of a gap through Orin. Wow, Orin putting in some work. 3rd place right now.
We actually have a tandem battle for 4th place right now. Ludofax coming in. Actually, getting interesting amounts of switchbacks here.
Watch
It's a battle
them.
for one of the top positions.
This could be huge. It puts them onto that 2nd grid spot. Ludofac's gonna go deep, get a little block stop, but it was just too much of a bite, and he gets bumped because of it, losing another position. Here comes Crafties, though. Night isn't over for Ludofax in these battles. And Crafties is now right behind him. Oh, Crafties makes it way too deep. I don't know what he was doing there, but...
Crafties is playing tag with Ludo instead of respecting the space. Absolutely. 1.5 left. Just gets bumped! Just Esperance gets bumped and Crucero gets through. Very interesting. And now Crucero is battling. He goes right through all the back markers. Just Esperance is now way behind. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Just Esperance is going to want that one back for sure. And, yeah, now the tables have turned a little bit. He did get lucky on those back markers, sending it deep into the turns. And, yeah, Just Esperance is definitely going to want that one back. Yeah, so there's your gap right now for the first position. Crucero doing some spins. He's going into the turn much later than he wanted. Just Esperance was right on his tail. Only a few turns to go, but, yeah, it's going to be hard fought for both of these guys.
They're going to meet Greg Master Flash. They're going to meet Greg Master Flash before the end of the corner, maybe before the end of the lap. This is a really tight battle for P1. Anything could happen, especially if Greg Master Flash ends up going wide on this corner. What are they doing? They're turning.
Crucero going on the outside. Just Esperance does it just as well, and yeah, that will settle it.
Oh,
quite some big moves
overtake
from Crucero. Holy cow, that was a thin gap to hit, and he hit it perfectly.
Both
Just
of those
Esper as
drivers
well.
doing very good. Absolutely.
Just Esper is just a surprise.
Greg Master Flash is turning around
And
in the middle
Orin,
of the track to look backwards.
Yeah, Orin will take that third position. Good job from Orin. Right behind is Antonio Yes in the 4th spot. Crumbcat, Ludofax, and Blockbacks. Crafties will take 7th. Here's our grid for the final race of FC2 in Austria. Crucero will be on top. Just Esper right behind. Orin in that 3rd position. Antonio fighting for that. Gonna go for podium here in that 4th spot. Crumbcat right behind. Ludofax. Captain Crafty's unfortunate start for him. Semicolon. Legit Hot Dog. Black Ninja CFC. Obamba. Cordia 404. Walta. Fervent Cilia. Blockbacks, who did pretty good so far. John Stella. Ernie 2020. And the new guys, Nejo, Zekro, and Judah. So here we go. We're starting the race in 3, 2, 1, and it is lights out. Away we go. Just Esper's diving towards the inside, right next to Crucero. They're gonna make this tight into turn 1. Someone's gonna go. Okay, Crucero stays in front. All these drivers stopped on turn 1. Some are going wide, some are going short, and others make it just fine. 2 drivers in the back. Or is that Orin? Oh no. Orin falls all the way to 18th place from that 3rd spot. That's got to be the lowest movement I've seen. Zerkro, Cumcrat, and Blocks will be in that 9th through 11th spot. But at the top of the spot, it is Antonio Yes in 2nd and Crucero in that 1st spot.
Oh, what happened to Just?
Just Esper looks like he lost a position to Antonio Yes. Antonio Yes, someone to look out for, almost had that 3rd spot last time, but lost it on the last turn to Captain Crafty's, losing on the podium. So today he's fighting with a vengeance. And Semicolon goes wide, giving Crafty's the overtake into that 3rd spot, or excuse me, 4th spot. And Semicolon losing another. Ludofax coming in, going for that overtake, but it's going to be tight on the turn 1. They're going right next to each other. It's going to be hard. Ludofax making it super wide and bumping into Semicolon as well. And here comes the fight for, oh gosh, 6th place. Walta, oh gosh, Zeko scrapes down the inside, losing more and more positions. He is now in 9th. Remember, Zeko has won quite a few FC2 races before, and starting in 9th is going to be hard, especially on this track of Red Bull Ring. You can see some drivers are already taking their pit stops. We have 3 pits and 25 laps, and so how it works here is you got to go through the pit lane at least 3 times during the race just to complete the mandatory pit stops.
We'll see where these drivers come out. The pit stop is very, very long, and these could actually hold up the lead driver. So it looks like Crucero's going to come out ahead of Orin, who did their first pit stop in 2.1 seconds, which is very fast. Let's see if Antonio Yes is able to get it. They are coming out almost. Orin squeezing them to the side. It looks like Antonio Yes does have the exit speed to get. They're really tied. getting a lag back.
and he
Antonio, yes, gets lag
scrapes,
back.
and oh my
Unfortunately,
gosh, Just Esper making the move,
Just
taking
Esperance
full
comes
advantage of
flying
that.
through,
Flying overtake
Giving
from
him-
Just Esper for sure.
giving him P2 again.
Yeah, and they're already catching up to some of these other guys. Neju is going to scrape, giving Just Esper a little bit of a tough time, but I think he gets through it cleanly enough as long as he makes this turn well, and he does. So, now we see Antonio, yes, going to be in a little bit of a fight, and that makes it clean as well as Neju is going all over the corners. And like we said earlier, beginners are very welcome here. Chromcat, though, the leader of the drivers who have done one pit stop right now. He's in 10th position right now. We see Crucero is going in for the pits from that first position, getting away from Chromcat, and in 45 seconds, we'll see where he'll end up. But for now, a little battle for right here. Zekro and Orin are right next to each other, going into turn 1. A little bit of lag coming in, but Zekro's holding on. We can see Orin letting go of W just a little bit to give some room, and he scrapes as well. That's going to cause trouble for him as Just Esperance is going for that move again, going super wide, and wow. Just Esper is making the moves on turn 2, seems like. He seems to have gotten that one down. Mr. Crucero is out of the pits, and he's already past turn 2, and it looks like he has air for a little bit, though. Back markers in FC2 is not an uncommon sight, and he'll have to deal with all these back markers while Just Esper is going to make their moves as well. Ulta.
Captain Crafty's going for his first pit of the race. Let's see how he does. Gets a 3-second pit stop, so not the best, could be better.
Shut the fuck up, Lapis. Shut your ass up.
Here's a battle for 6th right now. Obama and Walter. Walter messing up on turn 1. Crucero goes right past. Drivers coming out of the pit lane as well. And Obama will get far ahead. Now is defending off of Crucero. And he goes way deep into turn 2. Walter's gonna get the overtake, and all that fighting has been lost for Obama. And yeah, he's not happy about that one. Oh dear, he's falling apart on the straight here, bud. Get yourself together, man. You gotta fight. And he will get overtaken by Nejul, who's already taken 2 pit stops. Wow. Speaking of pit stops, Ludofax has already completed all 3 of their stops within the first 5 laps of the race. So they're currently sitting 19th, which looks pretty low, but considering they've done all 3 of their pit stops, they will only improve from here. And but that also means Ludo doesn't have any escape route. If he gets stuck behind people, he can't go dip into the pits. So bold strategy.
It's very
from
intense,
Ludo.
especially because we've only completed 7 laps. So we still have a very, very, very long way to go. So we will see how it shakes out for Ludo.
But for now, Ludo has lots of air, though for sure at one point that will not be the same.
We also have a few different drivers completing all 3. We've got QWERTY404 and Fervent Sylvia completing all of their pits. We also have Nigel also going in for their 3rd pit. So we got a few drivers getting them out of the way early. Maybe that means that they can focus on their racing more, not have to worry about their pit strategy. Oh, we have a 3-way bad tandem at turn 2 right now between Black Ninja CFC, Orin, and Zekro. All going into the water elevator. They somehow all make it through. There's still a 3-person tandem here.
Oh my word.
3 people going side by side, all into turn 3 or 4, whatever turn this is.
Oh, there goes Black Ninja going super wide. Maybe he was looking for
deep into the corner.
I think he might have been looking for a cheeky boat tap overtake there, but oh, who's this? Nejul going from wherever on the track and spreading them thin. So there's how quickly that compact racing turned to spread out. So though they'll probably see each other again. Zekro gonna is catching up to Orin just a little bit at a time each turn. And could make for a move on turn 1 and 2 here if he's quick enough.
Meanwhile, somehow we have Walter up at P2. What? How did this happen?
Walter? Boy, man, he's yeah, go Walter, man. There he goes. He's going to the pit lane now. He doesn't want the P1. If he waited a little longer, he may have could have. But yeah, Crafty is thanking his lucky stars that he doesn't have to get stuck behind Walta again.
Absolutely.
So these drivers, you can see, are taking very clean lines through here. These drivers know what's what in these races, and very experienced drivers here. Something to look for the new drivers to pay attention to these guys and how they put themselves out, and definitely good to follow them and their lines during the races.
Ooh, Crucero, who's actually a whole lap behind because he's completed 2 pits, was actually being held up a little bit by Semicolon, and then Semicolon decides to go in for the pit to get out of Crucero's way. How kind. Interesting. So that should actually give Captain Crafties the lead of this race. Is it quite enough to be first place overall, though? Like Blue said, it's very difficult to tell with the pit delta being so big and so many different varying numbers of pits.
So we see Semicolon, is pitting now.
Ooh.
Crafties will be in the first
Crafties
position.
and Just Esperance are actually right next to each other. Just Esperance breathing down Crafty's neck. Oh, he's getting really close. that's
and with the fastest
close.
lap of a 102.4, pretty quick from Just Esper. And yeah, this is going to be the battle for probably first place is what we're guessing. And yeah, one to watch. Though, like we said, it's going to be really hard to overtake, so Just Esper's going to have to put in the work or get a little lucky with the back markers coming up. Looks like that is Fervent Celia coming in front of him. And, oh, we missed Just Esper. Looks like they got bumped or they scraped and is now falling behind, quite a few seconds behind Captain Crafties.
Tandem battle actually behind Captain Crafties on turn 3. Whoa! Insane 360! He gets bumped! Oh my goodness! I just caught that over here. John Stanley goes in for an insane 360 on like turn 3. Fervent Sylvia goes and takes the corner normally. John Stanley does like a crazy 360 and ends up bumping up from Fervent Sylvia in the wrong direction. That was a wild move. So Captain Crafties is in the pits. Let's see if this undercut actually ends up paying off.
Yeah, and so he knew that Just Esper was pitting to get in front of him, so Crafties is going to take the opportunity to pit so he stays in front.
Try to get ahead. Let's see if he can get it. He does
3.6.
Even worse than last time. Oh no, this is going to be really
still
intense.
faster than Just Esper.
Very close. Oh my goodness. Crafties is going to have to fight to get ahead of Just here. We'll
Just
see how
Esper
this
in these
comes
last
out.
2 turns right here. It's going to come down to the wire for these two, I think.
Crafty's feeling confident that he'll come out ahead. Let's see where it comes.
Just Esper is crossing
Just
the line
Esper's
now.
coming down the finish line right now.
There's Crafties.
Coming around the corner.
Here it is.
Oh, they are in tandem.
And here it is for that first
Extremely
position.
Close battle. This is actually second position, it seems, because Crucero apparently has a very large lead on these drivers. Also completed 2 pits. Ooh, very intense battle as they go into 3. Just Esperance is going to have to brake late. Getting helped out by the boat lag. Oh my goodness, clean overtake by Just. Oh
Put in
my
the work
goodness.
on
Just
these
Esperance
overtakes.
successfully break late braking game and using the boat lag to his advantage.
Yeah, Crafties isn't going to go down with that fight, though. He's going to keep going for it. We're about halfway through the race, and he's going for this
Crafty's going
overtake.
very tight. Oh, it looks like Crafty's is struggling.
we got-
my gosh,
oh.
that's on his lag.
That was a back marker.
Oh gosh, yikes for him. A
John
sudden
Stanley
move.
unfortunately lagging really badly. Oh my goodness, gonna block Crafties again.
Oh my gosh,
Hey, what the-
Crafties is
who are you?
fuming
Who
right now
are
for this
you?
guy. He's gonna get Walta in front of him too.
What the fuck?
Oh, poor guy.
Crafties is getting absolutely destroyed. He's getting blacked by Walton.
Oh dear, he's falling
Walta.
way behind.
Crafty's
He's gonna get-
losing absolutely everything right now. Oh my goodness, this is so unfortunate.
You hate to see it. He was really going for
Oh.
that. And
So unfortunate. He's
yeah,
gonna get blocked
he's-
by blockbacks too.
it
Oh,
was
just barely-
2 turns, and he is already 12 seconds behind. That is quite a drop. He's got a lot to make up. That was so unfortunate, and you couldn't really be blamed for that, but you hate to see it. Crucero from the first position is going to the pit lane right now, taking his third pit, excuse me. Oh, Chromcat gets blocked. Antonio Yes gets blocked. Jess Esperance splits the difference. Holy cow. This man is on fire today with these spots. Jess Esperance is in that first position now. 2 out of 3 pits done for him. Though he's got to make up a lot of time, though, for Crucero. Crucero has done 3 of his pits, and you can see that he is right now in that 5th position.
All right. And yes, the back markers are going to make a key difference. Crucero actually stopping on the track for a second to say bye to Skip Snow. That's interesting. Oh, Just is getting really close to the back marker. Oh my goodness, Cordy 404. He goes in and he's now in tandem with Cordy 404. Good overtake on his ghost, but now he has to complete the job.
There it goes, coming into the turn here. Cordy 404 is going to take a little bit slower of a line. Justice, that was clean. Wow. That's how you do it on these turns, and yeah, Just Esperance is definitely racking up the overtakes. So Just Esper and Craft and Crafties are right next to each other, and you may think that the Crafties has actually caught up, but that is not the case. Crafties has pitted, and he is still a lap behind. Just Esper's on that 21st lap. Crafties on the 20th, and so yeah, it may look like they're right next to each other, but they are definitely not.
It looks like it's actually kind of a tight gap in between Just Esperance and Crucero. If you add those times together, it seems like Crucero has behind by about 41 seconds. The pit is 42 plus a pig stop. So if Just Esperance is able to eke out just a little more time on Crucero, he could end up coming out in front when he ends up going in for his pit.
So Just Esperance will be starting the 24th lap of the race. He has to pit at the end of this lap. He's got plenty of room for this 1 lap, but then he has to make the pit stop, and that will be the deciding factor of where they'll end up on the final lap of the race. Crucero, though, does have some people in front of him. That is a Fervent Cilia, who's right in front. Just Esper is going in for the pit stop, and this will be the big moment for him. He's going to make a good pit stop here in order to get in front of Crucero. So it's going to be real tight for these two. And remember, it's about 45 seconds.
If Crucero doesn't mess up and Just Esperance gets an average pit stop, Crucero will come out ahead. Just Esperance does get a 2.4 second pit stop, though, so it's pretty close.
It's going to be tight for these guys. Crucero coming into the last few turns here. So we'll watch him as they come in. Right now, Crucero going to the last 2 turns. Little Fax is right in front of him.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be tight.
Close. Let's go see where Just Esperance is. Just Esperance is getting through the last slowdown part. He's now to the end of the pit lane.
There's Just Esper.
Coming around. We're going around.
And it is.
They're on tandem.
Oh my gosh.
The back marker. There's no chance. This is way too tight.
Oh, Just Esper gets bumped, unfortunately. No. That was.
Oh.
That's probably it for Just Esper. He had that one move.
Oh,
yeah,
he gets bumped again.
Just Esper.
That's so close. That was such a good pit on Just Esperance's part.
Yep. That'll be it for Just Esper. He'll have to settle for second.
Such a close race. Such a close battle. Unfortunate that it had to go down that way.
Crucero will get by the back markers, and he will complete the race, taking that first position. Well deserved from him. Just Esper, second place. Third place is far behind. Here's Captain Craft. He's coming into the last 2 turns. And a similar spot for Captain Crafties and Antonio Yes, finishing the same spots that they did 2 weeks ago. Though this time, Crafties is far ahead by 7 seconds on Antonio Yes for that podium position. And yeah, Antonio Yes will be in that 4th spot. Here's our podium for FC2. Crucero on top, Just Esper in second, and in third was Captain Crafties. Everyone's celebrating the FC2 race at Austria. So we'll see you next time, and this one will be in Britain.